do is we're going to say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, and the Boy Scouts of Troop 360 are going to lead us in the pledge.
Face the flag. Salute. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Two. Proper face.
Thank you. This is the 27th consecutive year that Rochester Hills has celebrated being a Tree City, USA. In order for a city to receive this annual designation from the National Arbor Day Foundation, it must achieve 4 standards. It must have a community tree board or a forestry department. It must have a community tree ordinance. It must have a community forestry budget. And it must have an annual Arbor Day observation and proclamation. And that's what we're doing here today. And presiding over the ceremony today is Mayor Brian Barnett. And the tree that we're planting, or that we're going to plant, is an American linden, and the scientific name is Tilia americana. And assisting the mayor today are the Boy Scouts of Troop 360 and their leaders, Kevin and Elizabeth, wherever they stepped off to. And we appreciate their help also. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Mayor Barnett. He's going to read the proclamation, say a few words, and then he's going to plant the Arbor Day tree with the Boy Scouts, and Ranger Dave is going to give some guidance as this happens, so it's done properly and nobody gets poked by their shovel. And then after that, we got a couple more things we'll move forward with. So, Mayor.
You can tell the level of trust you have with your team when they say, Mayor, we want you to plant a tree, but we're going to give 3 of our professionals to stand with you, give you guidance along the way, and watch every move you make. So obviously, they don't trust me to do this by myself. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here on truly what is probably one of the most remarkable spots in Rochester Hills, an area of great history and certainly of remarkable significance for our community. I want to thank our friends from Oakland University. I saw Scott Kunselman in good disguise over there, and Jeff Upward, my good friend who runs Meadowbrook Hall. Where'd Jeff go? Oh, there he is, Jeff. Thank you. Thank you for inviting us here. It is truly one of our favorite spots in the city, and thank you to all of you who came out early to help beautify this area. I think no matter if it's your first time to Meadowbrook Hall or your 100th, I know we've got some docents here. There's certainly a feeling of pride when you walk onto this property and you feel sort of what Matilda must have felt and think about some of these trees that were here during her time and what we're trying to do in representing and continuing to celebrate the importance of trees in our community, how we want to take that feeling and hopefully implant that in the residents of Rochester Hills. I want to thank the Boy Scouts. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your leadership and your interest in serving your community. We appreciate that. And I thank you because you're going to do most of the work on this tree, right? You don't know that yet, but you are. And I also want to thank the folks, I think, that led this effort, 2 individuals, Nicole Thomas and Kim Zielinski. Thank you for your leadership and for the work that you helped to beautify this area. We'll probably hear a little bit more about that. Trees are important in our city, and I don't know if people recognize that, but it's truly one of the resources that you probably don't think about until it's gone. And you've all driven past an area where all of a sudden a neighborhood is cleared for development, and you go, wow, it really looks different on this road. It really looks different on the street. Or maybe it was the last storm that we had a month or so ago where we lost hundreds of trees in our city. And you realize that view from your front window looks a lot different with that tree gone or with that arborvitae no longer there. And so we recognize the importance and are very proud under the leadership of Jerry and his outstanding team that we want to be associated with trees. That our motto is innovative by nature, but our logo includes our very historic, famous tree on Livernois Road. Every single item that leaves our city, whether it be a business card or an official document, has a tree on it because we're proud of our association and recognize the importance of protecting and preserving trees. And so it's a high honor that I recognize the city of Rochester Hills on National Arbor Day. I also want to make note that we have a sort of unique thing happening. We have a sister city in Tuz, Montenegro, that planted a tree, an olive tree, this morning. Of course, they're six hours or 8 hours ahead of us. They had a wonderful ceremony with song and dance and planted a tree. We'll be planting a tree in their honor at City Hall next week, I believe. But we want to thank them for our sister city embracing Arbor Day in a nation that doesn't have Arbor Day, and we see our impact having an effect worldwide. But this proclamation reads, whereas on National Arbor Day, April 28, 2017, the citizens of Rochester Hills value the trees and woodland resources that enhance our city's beauty. And whereas the annual celebration of Arbor Day provides an opportunity for individuals and communities nationwide to recognize that viable, healthy community trees serve many positive purposes. And whereas trees purify air, produce oxygen, conserve soil and water by reducing stormwater runoff, reducing heat and cooling costs for our buildings, moderate air temperature, and provide food and shelter to wildlife. And whereas trees enhance the economic vitality of business areas, add beauty to our neighborhoods and city, and are a renewable resource providing us with paper and wood for many useful purposes. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Brian Barnett, Mayor of the City of Rochester Hills, hereby proclaim Friday, April 28th as National Arbor Day. And be it further resolved that I encourage all residents to celebrate National Arbor Day by planting trees to enjoy the beauty and pleasure that they provide. Official seal of the city and signed. Congratulations to the city and all those associated today. Arbor Day for our 26th recognition. 27th recognition. There was 1 year we shouldn't have gone it. No, I'm just kidding. 27th recognition of National Arbor Day here in the city of Rochester Hills. Congratulations, everyone. The manager of our forestry department, Jerry Lee, and he's been with the city for 26 years. I was asking him earlier today. He's only missed, I think, one or two Arbor Days since he's been here. He preps for all this. He cares for our trees. This is sort of the external celebration, but he and his team, Dave and Jerry and Alan and Ken, all work in our Parks and Forestry Department to make sure that our tree canopy is preserved and that the message we send to our residents is one that we care for, embrace, and support what trees do in our community. And so I'd like to read this proclamation. This will be Jerry's last Arbor Day celebration, as he will be retiring sometime between now and the next one. And so I want to read this proclamation. Again, he loves publicity, I promise you. He's going to beat me with a tree limb later. Proclamation in recognition of Jerry Lee, our Rochester Hills Forestry Operations Manager. Whereas on the occasion of National Arbor Day and in recognition of his years of service to the city of Rochester Hills, I wish to express my sincere appreciation to Mr. Jerry Lee for his dedication to the Forestry Division of the city of Rochester Hills. Whereas today we celebrate our 26th consecutive year as a National Arbor Day Association Tree City due to the leadership and vision of Jerry, and want to recognize him for his care, conservancy, and commitment to growing our tree canopy in the city of Rochester Hills. Whereas Jerry has been an outstanding representative of this city since November 30th, 1990, as he approaches his 27th anniversary as an employee here. Over the years, Jerry has exhibited great leadership and camaraderie amongst his team and proudly helped claim the title of Employee of the Month for the entire forestry team. Whereas in addition to his skills and talents as forestry operations manager, Jerry is an avid cross-country skier, long-distance cycler, particular about his beer, after hours, right? Yeah. Okay, just making sure. A Michigan history buff, proud grandpa to Troy and Evan, and in 2016 embarked on the trip of a lifetime as he toured Vietnam by bicycle and visited New Zealand. Now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Barnett hereby recognizes Jerry Lee for his dedication and service to the city of Rochester Hills, wishes him continued success in all his future endeavors. On behalf of the Rochester Hills City Council and the entire city staff, we wish Jerry health, happiness, and the very best on his future retirement. Jerry, congratulations.
Right here, both of you. Thank you.
Just two other quick folks I want to recognize. Two of our city council members are here. I see Councilwoman Dr. Susan Boyer in the front and Councilman Dale Hetrick in the back. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. And now I believe it's time to plant a tree.
Well, I'm going to bring up the...
Oh, yes. I'm going to turn this back over to Jerry Lee, who I should have turned it over to you a few minutes ago. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. This year, in addition to the 27th Tree City USA Award, we also received what's called the Growth Award from the National Arbor Day Foundation It's our third growth award since I've been here and since anybody's been here in forestry. And I submitted two things that we did, and this award is to recognize something that you did significantly over and above what you usually do in the previous year, which would have been 2016. So the two things we did, we initiated a free street tree planting program to citizens of Rochester Hills, as long as there's adequate space, up to 500 trees a year. And of course, Mayor Barnett was a spearhead on that, and of course the City Council had to approve it, and we appreciate their cooperation too. And we're in our second year of that program. It's authorized for 5 years. So we got some time to go, and we'll find out if it's going to be reauthorized or not. I bet it will. And the other thing we submitted was, as you know, trees, roots, and sidewalks don't get along oftentimes. And oftentimes the roots cause the damage to the sidewalks, and when they repair the sidewalks, the roots are damaged. So we're trying a new thing. It's been tried at Michigan State for a few years. A couple other cities have tried it. So we initiated a program that whenever we do a sidewalk repair, that we cut the roots in a more favorable fashion, and then put material, not an herbicide, but a fertilizer material, sulfur, basically elemental sulfur, agricultural grade sulfur underneath, and that inhibits the root growth underneath. And we think that's going to be a good thing. MSU has had good luck with it. They've only used it for 10 years, but they haven't had any problems. So those are two items that we submitted for the growth award. And now it is time to plant the tree.
All right, how about a hand for the Boy Scouts? Not bad. It's a guaranteed 75-year money-back guarantee on this one, right? You guys gonna be around?
Yes.
All right, good. Listen, our last speaker tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, is Jeff Upward. As I mentioned and introduced him earlier, he is the big boss over on this side of campus, running Meadowbrook Hall. And I'd like to ask Jeff to come on up and say a few words about the woodland restoration project that you've got going on here. Jeff Upward.
Thank you, Mayor. As usual, his timing was excellent. He got here a little too late for the work, but he looks good. Seriously, thanks everyone for coming out and helping. It means a lot to us. The history of this property really goes back more than 100 years, when John and Matilda Dodge bought what was called then Meadowbrook Farm. 320 acres in the farmhouse that's still here. It's a little bit different now. I think that was even before Rochester Hills existed. We're so happy that they do now. We're so happy that we're in Rochester Hills. I don't see Tom Tangi here, so I can confidently say that. Thanks everyone for coming. I think you'll see what went on just behind you. It's an incredible transformation. It included clipping out all the invasive species, cutting dead wood, hauling it away. We're very pleased with this effort. I think we got more area than we even anticipated, which we're very happy with. And now we look forward to next week when y'all come back, we're going to do a little more. So thanks again for coming, and thanks to Rochester Hills for all their support. Appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for participating in our Arbor Day celebration today. We have something for everyone, not just the snacks, but we have free seedlings for folks to go home and take this message from what you've heard today, which the Boy Scouts have certainly helped amplify, and do something in your own neighborhood or in your own yard or in your own common space where you live. we recognize here, and I'm sure you do, if you've taken time out of your day to do something to give back to this community on Arbor Day, we know that you're passionate about it. But take this seedling as a message and give it to someone, share it with someone, and let people know that in Rochester Hills we care and value our trees. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great Arbor Day. Thanks.